In this example, we're going to look at how to determine if a table is linear. If a function is linear, then it has a constant rate of change. In other words, the slope would be exactly the same with each pair of ordered pairs. To find the rate of change, or the slope, there is a formula. You subtract the y values, y2 minus y1, or find the change in the y's, and that's over x2 minus x1, or the change in the x's. So technically you could pull out two ordered pairs and plug it into this formula, but if it's labeled as a table, I like to do kind of a different method in order to find the slope. So we're just going to find the change in the y's, what we're doing up here. So if I went from -2 to 0, what happened? Well, to go from -2 to 0, I would have to add 2, right? Because -2 plus 2 is 0. Or technically, you could take the lower number, which was 0, and subtract it from the higher number, which is -2, and this would give you +2. That's another way of finding the same value. So the change in the y's was 2. Finding the change in the x's, from 0 to 1, we add 1. So that's our slope. It's 2 over 1. So our slope should be 2 over 1, which is the same thing as 2, throughout the entire table. So let's find the change for this next pair in the y's. So from 0 to 2, I add 2, and then from 1 to 2, I added 1. So again, our slope is 2 over 1, so it stayed consistent. We have to do the final pair here. From 2 to 4, you add 2, and from 2 to 3, you add 1. So yes, this is linear, and the reason is it has a constant rate of change of 2 over 1. For our next table, we're going to do the same process. So let's find the change in the y's over the change in the x's. So from 4 to 8, I would add 4, and from -3 to -2, I would add 1. So in this case, the slope, change in the y over change in the x's, is 4 over 1, or just 4, if this is linear. So it has to stay consistent. So let's check the next pair. From 8 to 10, you add 2, and from -2 to -1, you add 1. So we have an issue. The previous slope was 4 over 1, and this one is 2 over 1. So because the slope is not the same throughout the entire table of values, this is not linear.